that, why don't we go ahead and meet the people who we're going to be playing with today? Because I've kidnapped a whole new crew of strangers off the internet. Though strangers mightn't be a strong word. I've kidnapped one of you before.
And it's not just random people. Like, you just kidnapped another podcast.
That's true. You kidnapped
did.
the entire other podcast.
Although you must be good at it because you got a return customer, so.
There you go.
Yeah? Return customer who got me into Gen Con, so yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would be kidnapped again.
Aw.
I've had multiple people volunteer to be re-kidnapped, so I'm like, I must be doing something right. So why don't we start with Zan, who is the GM of the podcast that I have kidnapped. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your show, and who you're going to be playing.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Zan. My pronouns are he, they. I am the GM of a Numenera actual play podcast called Imprinted Echoes. It's a science fantasy vibe, and it's a lot of really ridiculous fun. But today, instead of GMing a science fantasy podcast, I am going to be playing a lemur in space. Specifically, I'm playing a lemur named Quasar, who is an Indri lemur, which is, they have the big white puffs on the side of their face, and the biggest of all the lemur types. Quasar is good at jump fighting and has a camera on him at all times. He hasn't used it yet. He's waiting for the right moment.
Question, is this like one of those disposable cameras, or do you
Yes.
have like a... Okay.
No, I'm definitely thinking disposable camera, like something that has one picture left on it.
Okay, but maybe it's got like a little strap so you can wear it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Themed after the zoo.
Yes,
Yes.
it's from the gift store.
It's a branded
Yes,
zoo.
it is
yeah.
from the gift shop.
Look at
Yes.
you.
Absolutely. And I think that to give it a little bit of sci-fi space vibes, there is some bioluminescence to Quasar. Maybe in the white portion of his fur, there is in the dark, you can see a little bit of a blue glow.
Maybe that fur is actually maybe a bit of a frill that could puff up.
Oh, I like that too. I like that too.
Because no one would expect that from a lemur, but that'd be very funny. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Hi, my name is Chase. I also am a player on a science fantasy podcast called Imprinted Echoes. Funny how that works. I play the character Nehemiah on there. I'm also the DM and host of the D&D actual play podcast, Another Path. But today, I'm portraying Bosco, the ring-tailed lemur. And ring-tailed lemurs is, when you think of a lemur, 9 times out of 10, you're probably thinking of a ring-tailed lemur due to the popularity of, I would go ahead and say, the most famous lemur, Zaboomafoo.
Woo!
Except Zaboomafoo's not a ringtail.
What?
Zaboomafoo's a Sifka. We learned that when we played this on stream.
Everything's just falling apart.
Or Sifaka.
Everything I knew about the world has just
Sifaka.
shattered before me. I need to go take a lie down.
It didn't take long for us to break Chase this time,
No,
right?
no, not at all. Just a cool science fact got me. Why did I think he was a ring-tailed?
Because ring-tailed lemurs are really popular.
Okay, that must have been it. Wow. Well,
Yeah,
never
no,
mind.
no,
Cut all that, I guess, or leave it in. I don't know.
No, I'm gonna
Zaboomafoo
leave it
is a
in.
cockerel's Sifaka.
Well, now everybody else who also thought the same thing as me, we've all learned a lesson, and we're gonna, we're gonna collect ourselves and we're gonna move forward. Regardless, I'm playing a ring-tailed lemur, and they are very popular lemurs. And he's got a wallet. Just kind of nicked that at some point. And he's incredibly cute, and he's incredibly strong.
Did you name what your skill is?
Oh, a leaping.
It's a very bouncy one.
Very
Mhm.
bouncy.
Hello, I am Rin. Also, weirdly, on a podcast called Imprinted Echoes. I play Jory, but today I am playing a lemur named Lyman. I am a mouse lemur, so I'm Ibby Bibby. I'm good at sneaking, and I have an applesauce pouch, which I will say, to make it a little more spacey, is called Cyber Cinnamon. That is the flavor on the
Yes.
applesauce. So, got some stars, and I'm ready. I'm curled up on it, ready to go.
Mhm.
Like a little pillow.
Like a little pillow.
I also wonder if maybe you're so good at sneaking because you're kind of like squids who can fit through improbable spaces.
It's true.
You don't look like you could fit through improbable spaces, but you can.
That's my special skill. I'm always snuck.
Snuck as a buck in a ruck.
When in doubt, take something, make it a little bit weird.
Hi, I'm Bridget, and oddly enough, I also am a cast member on a sci-fi fantasy podcast called Imprinted Echoes.
No joke.
What are the odds? We should all talk after. We should connect. This is a networking opportunity.
Yeah, this
we
is
should
so
really.
weird.
This is phenomenal. Like I so seldom get to connect with other people in similar situations to mine, particularly in a kidnap situation. Like, what are the odds?
Exactly. Why do you think I slid into Zan's DM and said, hey, let's kidnap all these people to play lemurs?
But anyway, today I am not playing Smallrin, who I normally play on Imprinted Echoes. I am playing Missy, the mouse lemur. So I am also Ibby Bibby. And my special skill is in lockpicking. And I have a hat, which I have decided is one of those like knit winter caps with a big bobble and like the ear flaps and the ties, which I have tied together and use kind of like a messenger bag.
Incredible.
That's so cute.
That's real good.
Yes.
That's real good.
That's precious.
Which is why I am clever and cute, but I am also scary. Because who knows what's in that bag?
Why does that lemur have a bag?
What evil lurks in the depths of my bobble hat? Shadow knows.
We find these lemurs, !, in parentheses at the end, in a zoo that's actually a space station, and it operates in conjunction with a bunch of different conservation efforts across the universe, but the four of you don't know that. You just know the life in your enclosure and the food that you get and all the interesting things you see going on around you. People come in from all over. There are creatures brought in from all over. And you know that there's a lot more to the universe that you've never seen. And you won't see unless you find some way to get out of this enclosure. It's a pretty normal day. You've got someone coming in to bring you food in a little bit, and you've decided today is the day. We're gonna go for it. What are you doing to prepare for your great escape?
I think Quasar is shadowboxing. In the corner, has like eaten his breakfast, whatever's been brought to us, and is then like in the corner of the enclosure, maybe behind a tree or a post or balcony or something like that, and it's kind of just like, you know, choo 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 choo, throwing punches at this tree trunk, trying to get himself hyped up for the coming escape.
Reminder, you haven't had your breakfast yet. Breakfast is coming, but maybe you
Breakfast
had like
is
some
coming.
leftovers from last night. Time of day and what meal it is really fuzzy when you're on a space station. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
maybe every meal is breakfast. What
what a
difference
dream.
does it make? What's everyone else doing is Quasar's shadowboxing.
Bosco has gone behind a rock and is doing an inventory of the wallet. The wallet is contraband. He is not supposed to have it. He is aware of this. He doesn't care. It's his wallet now, and he needs to know exactly what's in it. He knows exactly what's in it, but he inventories it at least like 4 or 5 times a day just to make sure it's all still there. And so that when danger arises, he can make use of it at a moment's notice.
What all is in your wallet?
Oh, it's so much stuff. So much stuff. There's lots of cards. There's cash. There's more cards.
Are there
I don't know what any of
coupons?
it is. I can't read. But it's a lot of good stuff. There's this white card. There's this blue card, and it's got a picture of a dude on it. I don't know who he is. Probably the guy who owned it. And then all these this paper, these credits. I could probably use it for something.
You don't understand, but you're determined to figure it out.
I'm gonna fly a spaceship.
That'll be fun to see.
Missy's currently curled up inside the hat, which is kind of a multi-purpose item because it is large enough for, I would assume, a humanoid head. And mouse lemurs are very small. So she does use it somewhat like a bag, which she has to drag behind her, but also occasionally as a sleeping bag. Her little nose poking out. She's holding on to one of the tassels.
It's so soft and warm, and you can like snuggle the tassel to you, and you're just all nice and safe.
Exactly. It fell into the enclosure at some point, and she immediately peed on it, so that the keepers wouldn't try to return it to the person who dropped it. So it's hers now.
It worked.
It worked. And now everyone knows it's hers.
Exactly.
Well, I was doing a lot of squishing my applesauce pouch to just make sure it's all warmed up and ready to go for whatever it might need to be squeezed out of for.
Hold on. Why does applesauce need to be warm?
Well, because that's
Warm
that's
applesauce is a great joy.
Yep. I need to make sure it's ready because I know when I'm cold as a lemur that I can't move as fast. So I need to make sure that my applesauce pouch is up to scratch for our great escape. However, I do see you, Quasar, shadowboxing, and I look at my applesauce pouch, and then at you, and then my applesauce pouch, and then I'm gonna amble up, if I might, holding my applesauce pouch so that you can box against it like a pad.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh gosh, I had not considered any sort of like personality for Quasar up until this very moment. Well, thank you, Lyman. I think Quasar has picked up a bit more of like the human ways of speaking. Cannot like necessarily speak to humans, but follows like a weird human-like cadence, and it's like sounds like movie voice the entire time.
There might be some people who tend to play movies and stuff around where you are, especially whenever like it's like a lower shift cycle. They don't have a bunch of people, and they'll just put movies on.
Yep.
They've just got screens throughout the zoo.
That like trailer voice or like an announcer voice that Quasar has adopted. Well, thank you so much, Lyman. I hope this doesn't ruin your applesauce.
It'll only make it better. I got you, friend.
And I'll set to just punching.
I will probably have to brace myself very hard. I am but wee.
I assume you're not like full strength punching, just mostly like going through the motions, pulling your punches so you don't accidentally send your tiny friend flying and break her applesauce pouch.
I do not want to break the applesauce pouch or my friend.
Helping.
So y'all have any preparations that you need to do before your breakfast shows up, or you just waiting for the keeper to come?
I think as we know that like breakfast time is about to arrive, Quasar kind of like calms down. It's like, all right, workout is over now, and calls out to, are we the only 4 lemurs in the enclosure, or are there others?
It's just the 4 of you in this enclosure, but you are close to like multiple other enclosures with other creatures in them.
So I'll call out to the other 3 lemurs in our enclosure. Well, today's the big day. How are we feeling, everybody?
Pretty good.
Squishy.
I don't wake up before breakfast. Leave me alone.
Oh,
Tucks her nose
Apologies.
back into the hat.
I feel that.
Missy sleepy.
Missy very sleepy. Leave me alone.
So I'm gonna wait in my usual spot. Because if I don't wait there, they're gonna think something's up.
Of course, you can't have them be suspicious.
where is your usual spot?
Bosco points to a spot that is like up kind of like on a crest of like a little like essentially like the highest point of the enclosure on the inside. He usually waits there when he knows food is going to be arriving. He's very food motivated. So I'm going to wait there. And then when they come in, we get them.
Do we plan to injure the keepers, or are we just trying to get out?
We're going to get them.
I'm gonna
We're
give
gonna
him a
get 'em.
squish.
I don't know what else, but we got to get them so they don't follow us.
I give him the squish. I put the squish all over, and then they can't follow us.
Okay, that sounds
Blind them with applesauce. Perfect.
Mm.
Precious.
Let's get you set up so that you can have prime applesauce shooting location.
It's ready. Very mushed. Extra mushed. Thank you.
There's probably something that you can like hang off of from the ceiling, like little hammocks and things like that you can get high up off of the ground. So you might be about eye level.
I'm going to take some dirt and put it under my eyes so I don't get the sun in them. There's no sun, but, you know, the overhead light. And then I'm going to get out there and I'm going to take a little thumb of my little thumb and I'm going to go right in the corner and get ready to splat. I'm going to wait. Splatful sauce.
Letting you wait for the zookeeper to come in with your food.
Missy's nose ever so slowly peeps back out of the hat, and then slowly next to it, a couple of makeshift lockpicks appear. She has fashioned them for herself out of things that have fallen into the enclosure. At least one of them is just a paperclip. Still bent like a paperclip. It's not even unfolded. One of them's a regular paperclip. And the other one is, I think, a fairly twisted up, I think that one of the things that is sold as like concessions elsewhere in the zoo is the space equivalent of a corn dog. And so she has like gnawed the corn dog stick into the approximate shape she requires.
Good. Love that.
So she's lurking. She's ready.
Where is Quasar positioning themselves?
I will be waiting near the ground, kind of right by the door, because I'm going to go for the knees.
So we're going to trip him up, blind him, pick the locks, and escape.
Yep.
Nicely done. Assuming it
Yes.
works.
Missy's going to attempt to lock the door behind us on the way out.
Good.
Good plan, good plan. So you wait, and eventually your keeper comes in. He's Eldori, so blue skin, long black hair, has like these 4 bowls that have the food in them, and says, "Hey guys, got your breakfast here." Goes like he's going to start laying them out, and I'll say roll plus clever to blind.
Okay, 2d6.
Oh, and since you're also using your apple pouch, you can add an extra d6.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm at 6 plus extra d6. 9.
Partial success, and let's get rolling plus strong to trip him up.
Would you consider this to be part of jump fighting?
Yes,
Wonderful.
because you have to jump up to get to the knees.
Perfect. So that is a 8.
All right, so you both get a partial success. Lyman gets right in the eyes.
Cyber Cinnamon!
Oh, that probably makes it hurt even worse. Just drops all the food, and then Quasar you go for the knees, and he does stumble and fall, but I think he makes a bit more noise than you wanted him to when he fell. And I'll say Quasar, he's fallen on your tail.
Oh no!
You can get out, but he's on your tail.
Quasar kind of gives like a higher pitched squeak than you would expect to come out of his mouth, and then says, "Well, it seems I have been trapped," and starts like carefully, slowly trying to tug on his tail to get it out. I assume it's going to take a moment.
The door is partially open.
Fly, you fools! Fly! I mean, run! We can't fly! Go!
You're just sitting there trying to pull out your tail.
Yes.
Missy shoots out of the hat, kind of catching it on her shoulder as she goes. Shoots out of the hat, like makes a run directly for this guy's face, is going to skid to a stop in front of him and just like right in this guy's face to try and get him to roll over off of Quasar's tail.
Oh, nice.
Roll plus scary. This little thing just explodes out of the hat and screams in his face.
That is going to be 12. So that is a
Nice.
full success.
Spooky.
He just immediately starts panicking, he can't see you, so there's just suddenly this noise, and he doesn't know what's going on, so he starts, like, trying to get away and, like, gets his feet tangled up in some stuff, and also does roll off of Quasar's tail. So you are now all free to GTFO.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Huzzah! Let's go.
I would like to grab Lyman, being a larger Lehman, and then have us both leap towards the door.
Roll plus strong.
Excellent. And an additional +2 because I am a leaping lemur.
Yeah.
That is going to be a 9, so partial success.
So your goal is to get both of you out of the door?
Mm-hmm. I think we all just kind of land in a cluster, probably.
No, I'm thinking you drop them just inside the door and you get out.
Oh
Oh no.
So, I mean, the door's still open and you're near the door, but you do drop your friends on the way out.
I think seeing that, Bosco would scurry back and, like, press themselves against the door to keep it open. It is firmly open. It's not closing.
no.
He really thinks he's doing a lot more than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's trying his best.
Yeah. Missy is, again, going to bolt for the door, skittering directly over this guy's face, because why not? And once she makes it to the door, she's going to try to swing around the outside and climb up to where the locking mechanism is, in preparation.
I think I am torn because the entrance is open, but behind me, on the bottom of the enclosure, is the empty applesauce pouch. And I keep looking at that and looking at the outside and then looking at the pouch, and I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna go grab it.
I mean, you can grab it.
Lyman,
gonna
there's a
grab it.
whole space of applesauce out
I
there.
know.
Let's go.
I know. I grab the empty, useless pouch and I hold onto it tight as I run out the door. It's my friend.
And Quasar, you also booking it for the door?
Yes, booking it for the door, and when I get out, doing a scan of the hallways or whatever happens to be on the other side of the door that we've never seen before. So, like, just taking stock of my surroundings once I get out.
Quasar, you roll with Clever to get the lay of the land, while Missy, you roll with Clever, including your lock picking to lock the door.
Yeah, as the last of us get out, I will swing the door shut.
Actually, in that case, can you roll plus strong to push the door shut?
Yeah.
Because you're also kind of tiny.
I think that's a 10. I shut the door.
Give it a good shove, and it just swings closed very quietly and smoothly.
And Missy rolled another 12. It was a 9, and I have a +3 from Clever and Lockpicking. So
Dang.
Missy, as it slides into place, with nimble, very tiny fingers, manipulates the locking mechanism, and the bolt slides home.
Nice.
I also rolled a 10 on Clever, so full success to take a lay of the land.
All right, so you are kind of in the back area, and the way is clear. Where are you all trying to go? Are you just trying to get out and explore, or do you have a specific destination in mind, or do you even know?
I think from our location in the zoo, we could probably see a general idea of where ships were coming and going from. And I feel like that is our ultimate goal. Like, we're just trying to get out.
Bosco wants to drive a spaceship.
Like a leaf on the wind.
Even if you can't actually see where the ships come in, you know where people come from. So one of you has enough clever to put 2 and 2 together that if you want out, it's that way, and Bosco just knows if I want to do the thing, I have to go that way.
Yeah.
I believe we need to go this way. That is where we always see the people coming from.
Okay.
Every time they enter it, every single day, that is the direction they are coming from, which means that must be a way out.
Excellent.
That sounds really smart.
Do we want to free anyone else to come with us, or also be a problem here?
I have no loyalty to any of the other creatures here, but I am not opposed to making more problems for the people who put us here in the first place.
I like that.
Just nobody dangerous. Hey, come on. We're very small. Nobody's gonna eat us. No claws, no teeth, no maws.
Who would
No
eat
sauce.
us?
You don't know what I've seen.
Oh no. Oh no.
I know I can't read, but if there's some sort of like directory, maybe with infographics of like different animals that might be nearby.
I'll say there probably is one, and there's one about kid height that's got it's more pictures.
Yeah.
There it is.
So, what are you looking for? Like, what sort of creature do you think you're looking for to free?
I think we are looking for something big, but not a predator. So, or at least not a like carnivore style predator, right? So like maybe a rhinoceros or
An elephant.
an elephant, or maybe, granted, I don't know what kind of animals they have on Space Station Zoo, maybe a moose.
Space moose.
Moose.
Something big that can cause destruction but is not going to try and eat us.
Space gorilla.
Space gorilla.
Roll with clever to see if you could figure out based off of the pictures which one of these is going to be big and friendly and not eat you.
Amazing. That is a 7. So partial success.
Ooh. As you look at this, you see there are two right next to each other. One that looks like it's a kind of a bird creature with like long legs and like really big wings. You think, oh, that'll be distracting. And then there's another one that like it looks kind of like big and fluffy, and those guys should be friendly and also be like really big and stompy and distracting.
I turn to the other 3. Wings or fluffy?
Fluffy.
Fluffy
Or both.
or both?
Those are also kind of in the general direction of where you're going to.
Well, let's see what we run into first. I think both of those would be a good option.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what we got.
I agree. Let's do it.
Using like the hand signals of like, like stop as a fist and like go, go, go and, hold on, look this way, pointing at things and all those like stealth hand signals. I'm like motioning everybody to go, 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 go.
So as you start scampering down the halls towards these two enclosures, everyone roll plus clever as you're attempting to be sneaky. And the one of you that is good at doing the sneaky, you get to add 2 to that.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 7.
I rolled,
I rolled
a
an
9.
8.
6, 7, 8. No, wait.
9.
Wait.
8,
Yep.
9.
9. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the two of you who got a 9, you scamper ahead down the hall because you know where you're going. Missy, you're lagging behind a little bit because you're dragging your bag and you're like trying to like get the lockpicks back in as you're running, and it's making it a little awkward.
It's very hard to reload the bag as you run because the bag is dragging
Yeah.
approximately 6 inches behind my 4-inch body.
Yeah, it's just a little distracting. So Bosco, what do you get distracted by as you're attempting to sneak away?
The grave miscalculation that everybody in this forgot is that Bosco is incredibly food motivated. And he did just skip his breakfast. And this is very rapidly becoming an issue. So I think the first person to notice turns around and sees a big old ringtail sticking out of a trash can as Bosco is experiencing true human garbage for the first time. Or maybe not human garbage, but true garbage for the first time. And there are leftover fries, space candy, Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of the past.
Some of those corn dogs.
Absolutely. It is a montage version of the Smorgasbord song from Charlotte's Web
Oh, my heart.
going on in a trash can right now with a ringtail lemur.
I also like to
Very,
think that
very good.
because Missy keeps trying to turn around to try and get the lockpicks back in her hat, she's the one who notices.
Mm-hmm.
And she scampers over and attempts to drag you out by the tail, by which she has to put her entire weight onto your tail because you're much bigger than her.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Yeah, and for our two sneakier lemurs, you see all this going on. You know, there's a small chance you can remain undetected if you stay in hiding, but your friends are absolutely about to get caught, especially Bosco, who is stuck in the trash can.
Quasar, what do we do?
No lemur left behind! I run to go help Bosco.
He's
I
just
will
too
run
heavy.
after.
Help me get him out.
Let's get some rolls plus strong as Bosco somehow managed to get his head stuck in a Kleenex box.
Right.
Actually, no, better. Pringles can.
There it
Yep.
is.
Oh,
Correct.
Yes.
That is absolutely what has happened. Ooh, all right.
I've rolled a 9, partial success.
I failed with a 5.
Another 7, so partial success.
I have also rolled a 7, so partial success.
So you are able to get Bosco out of the trash can mostly intact, but you realize a little too late that Lyman fell into the trash can
No.
completely.
Lyman, no.
I'm trying to find more applesauce buddies, and I also slipped, but it's fine.
Can I try to use my jump fighting to kick the trash can over so Lyman can come tumbling out?
Go for it. Give me the roll, and then it'll be plus strong with your jump fighting. This game is nuts, and I love it.
It's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13. Perfect. As the other two are like, oh no, what are we gonna do? You just walk up, kick it just the right spot. It pops out, Lyman. You roll out. You didn't find an applesauce pouch, but you do roll out and come to stop behind like the foot of like a sign display. So when one of the keepers walks by and looks over as the trash can fell, he does not immediately see a lemur holding across the ground. So there's someone looking your way, but you haven't been spotted yet. What are you going to do? You also know that people will probably be arriving to check out the exhibits within the next 10 to 15 minutes.
I am going to continue the way we were going, but if there's anything that I can get behind, and I'll make the form of it, like try to basically shadow puppet myself so that I can continue to hide. I will start at the sign that I got behind, and I will just keep leapfrogging to different signs and changing my shape with my sneaks.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say sneaking and with clever.
Okay. Oh, that was very poor. Okay. 7. Could be worse, I guess.
You feel really confident, but there are a couple of times where there's just like a little poof of tail poking out.
I also still have my applesauce packet, even though it's useless, so it's probably sticking out at odd angles.
Yeah, there's occasionally a little like tap, 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 tap as it like smacks on the ground. Scuttle, scuttle, scuttle.
Bosco will vertical leap into the rafters because no one looks up, and will make his way down the hall, jumping from beam to beam.
Give me the roll and it'll be plus strong, and you're on a space station, so it'll be really interesting to see exactly how high the ceilings are.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's a good thing that I am also a leaping variety of lemur. That's going to be an 8.
You don't quite get up onto the rafters, but you do manage to like get on top of the roof of another exhibit. So you're a little visible, but at least you're out of reach.
Gotcha.
Missy is going to look over at Quasar very quickly.
If I can jump up and jam the hat over his eyes, can you leap up and kick him in the face?
I'll do my best.
Awesome. The violence of this
Missy chooses
very
violence.
I mean, fair. Sometimes that's just a mood. So let's get the strong roll for leap fighting. Actually, no, let's get the roll to put the hat on his face first. So you get to roll 3d6 and add your bonus for. No, yours is lockpicking. Never mind.
Yeah, no, this is
I was
just
gonna
the
say for
extra
leaping.
d6 for the hat.
Yeah. And I'll count this as clever, though.
Okay.
Because you're trying to position it just right to, like, get it over his eyes.
All right. So that is going to be a 10.
You time it just right, get the hat over his head and, like, pull it down over his eyes so he can't see. And then as you drop, let's get that roll from Quasar for elite fighting as you attempt to kick him in the face and not kick your friend.
10 on the dot.
Nice.
I'm picturing this like some sort of like ballet. There's classical music playing in the background. Do 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 do.
Like jumping off of things in the environment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very graceful.
It's like you've rehearsed this before. It's so well done.
Perhaps we have.
Have we though?
We don't know how many zoos you've been in or out of. Lyman and Bosco, you look and you see this happen as the person who spotted you just down.
Good.
You kicked him in just the right spot. They're out for the count.
All right, let's go.
And you have a clear shot at the door, and you are still on track to let some friends out.
What is the first friend that we come across?
Odds or evens?
Evens.
It looks like whatever is in here is still sleeping. You just see these giant piles of fur in the corner, basically.
Is this an enclosure that's like all glass, like we wouldn't be able to get in necessarily?
Most of the enclosures are glass, or, well, not technically glass, but it's basically glass.
Something clear?
Yes, it's clear. There's not really a good way to get into it outside of the doors, but you have been partially traveling along where the keepers go. So there is a door that could potentially be picked or, I guess, hacked.
Mm-hmm.
Missy, how about that door?
I'm on it.
Missy goes up to the fallen keeper and doesn't take back the hat, but she does like shove one little hand in next to his face and rummage around until she emerges with her lockpicks. Yeah, Missy's gonna attempt to unlock that door.
Give me the roll.
I'm assuming this is a clever roll.
Yes, clever with lockpicking.
11.
You have no trouble. No lock can match you. There's no lock you can't pick. You are unstoppable. And the door just swings open.
The dice have apparently decided Missy has escaped from a lot of zoos.
Mm-hmm.
Missy is an escape artist. It's fine. So the door's open. Are you gonna, like, go up and wake up your new friends? Or are you gonna wake them up from a distance?
I'm gonna let you all deal with this one. I'm staying on this door. I'm very small. I don't know what that thing is.
Bosco will go in and just shout, "Prison break!"
Roll plus cute.
Ooh. Excellent.
love
That's
that.
the
I love
closest
that.
to a persuasive.
Yeah,
Gotta win him to our
that's
cause.
gonna be an 11.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That was very cute.
That was very cute.
You see these big heads pop up. They're like the size of your body as these big creatures. There's two of them just kind of blink at you and say, "Thanks for opening the door. You might want to get out of here. This could get messy."
Bosco shoots some finger guns and walks backwards out the door and motions to the rest of the crew. "Yeah, all right, we gotta go now, apparently."
I have been assigned for so long at this point that I know how to be assigned. So I'm going to stand there and I'm going to try to airplane direct these things in the right direction to cause mass destruction.
Roll plus clever to pick a good direction for them to go.
Oh, good.
Mm.
Okay, clever. 4, 5, 6, 7.
So you start directing them to, you're like, okay, where's going to be the most chaos? This way. Go this way. Go this way. So the bears wake up and start lumbering out of their enclosure
Space.
and start heading towards the park entrance where there's soon to be a lot of people and there will be much chaos when the bears are out.
Yay!
Which is also the direction you're going.
Oh, no.
Follow the destruction, friends.
Mm.
Yay.
you can still also let out the big tall birds too.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's happening. Also, I'm going to throw out a phrase that I haven't thought of in a long time, which is Admiral Space Bear.
Yes.
We should have an Admiral Space Bear. Forgot.
Yes, do it. Aboard the Opal Star, we do have a Sergeant Stabby.
Sergeant Stabby.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a Roomba?
Yes, it's a Roomba.
Yes!
Roomba with knives and a commission.
So a knife has been strapped to one, the other one has a bow on it, and then immediately after that, no one knows why, the one with the knife started chasing the one with the bow, and then another one decided to get in on it. No, the one with the knife won't stop chasing that one away from the one with the bow.
Oh.
No one's sure what's going on, but they're like 95% sure that the ship AI is just bored.
I think the one with the
Okay.
knife is in love with the one with the bow. Throwing that one out there.
Obviously.
This is a true enemies to lovers romance because the other Roomba showed up and suddenly the knife one realized its feelings and now it has to make sure that the other one stays far away from its beloved.
Exactly. So, getting back to the jailbreak, let's get the roll to break out the birds.
Yeah. That is going to be a 12. So Missy jumps down, scampers over, clambers up, and the door is open almost before she's fully settled herself at the lock.
Yeah, you are unstoppable. There's no lock that you cannot pick. You could probably free every animal between here and the exit in a matter of seconds.
I think this time Quasar kind of like pushes Lyman in. Let's go on. To like talk to the big birds.
But don't get grabbed.
Oh, mighty birds. It is time to fly.
Fly, that sounds fun. Fly as it's this gaggle of these very tall neon blue birds, and as they like flutter their wings as they're excited, there's like this purple plumage and they almost start to glow, and there's just like this little stampede and they just go around you as you've released the space flamingos.
Yes.
Cyber cinnamon.
I definitely thought we were releasing space ostriches. I like
I
flamingos
like
better.
flamingos better. I'm here for it.
No, the ostriches are the next one over. So you have caused chaos, although some chaos has been directed in the direction we're going.
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely going to get some attention. What's the next move?
Quasar looks at everyone and says, I know this might be a bit of a detour, but Bosco got breakfast and none of us did.
Hungry.
We need something on the way out.
Hmm.
What's on the way?
I bet one of those bears probably knocked over another trash can, and that was real good, guys.
Follow the bears.
You smell the unmistakable smell of like cinnamon and caramel as they're starting to make some kettle corn.
Oh.
Ooh.
I want whatever that is.
More
To smell.
cinnamon.
And you-
To the smell.
Cinnamon.
All right, let's go.
yeah, one of the birds is just like, smell, ooh, smell, and just takes off towards it, so you can just follow behind it.
Hey, bird brain. Bird brain, that's ours.
Can I try to grab onto one of these space flamingo legs to get a quicker ride to the kettle corn?
Roll plus strong to grab
Absolutely.
Anyone else can do this too.
Yeah.
That
You know what?
is a 14.
Absolutely.
Double sixes plus 2.
Yep.
That is a 12.
That is an 8.
Zayton, I will allow you to grab another person if you wish. With the 14.
I will grab Missy on the way. Using the strings of the hat like as like a like hammock scoop kind of thing to like
She just like
pull her up
she
next to me.
jumps in. Just lets
Yeah.
you carry.
Yeah.
There was another hat laying on the ground. It's not going to be quite as useful, but it worked for that.
She just likes having a purse, guys.
I partialed, so I grabbed the bird leg, but I think I grabbed it too low, so I just keep getting slammed on the ground every time.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Everyone else grabbed it higher, so it's like lots of bouncy. You are trying to crawl up higher, and it's not working. You are too small. It's moving too fast. You just start holding on, just get really jostled, and when they finally get to where the kettle corn is, and the birds start like pecking at the glass around the kettle corn, trying to get to it because they don't know how else to get to it. You just kind of slide off the foot and you're a little dizzy and disorientated.
I'm gonna lay down now. Good night.
There's another zookeeper, bright pink with these tentacle tendrils back on their head, and they're just backing it we have a problem. I think this is bad. And they just run off somewhere. They haven't noticed you, but they noticed everyone else.
Okay.
Honestly, best possible scenario.
How do we get the kettle corn?
I think we look to Bosco.
Describe the stand for me here. Is this a cart? Is it a full stand? Is it just an open air kettle?
Open air kettle.
It's a cart. There's sort of a container around the kettle that is currently heating up the kettle corn. The flamingos are trying to get at it, but they are not smart and do not realize you cannot eat kettle corn through glass.
I think Bosco's a real Occam's razor kind of guy. Bosco's just going to try and knock the stand over.
All right. Roll with strong.
The description of a lemur as a real Occam's razor kind of guy.
That's maybe my favorite thing.
Oh boy.
Roll
Oh,
a 12!
A 12?
Yep, that's a 12. I'm picturing it's slightly larger than a hand cart, and Bosco just kind of sizes up the thing, realizes that it's close enough to a wall, and spider walks himself up between the wall and the cart and just pushes real hard.
So you do this, and I think instead of fully tipping it over and breaking it, you manage to disconnect it from what was holding it in place, and it is now free moving. And these things, they don't travel on wheels. They have a hover mechanism that is still active.
Yes. We have a vehicle.
So it is now free and mobile, and you were planning on stealing a spaceship. So would you like to take the kettle corn cart with you?
Yeah, this is a perfect this is a perfect demo to make sure that I understand how to drive a spaceship.
Amazing.
Roll with clever to try and drive the kettle corn cart.
Hey, guess what I'm real bad at?
Clever.
I know, that's what makes it funny.
I have rolled a 2.
Oh no!
I have
Two
snake
opposite
eyes.
ends of the spectrum there.
Yup.
You get in place, and you're okay, I think I got this. You go to push a button, you immediately get grabbed by the scruff by a zookeeper. It's what are you doing?
No, I'm not done.
So Bosco's been caught. The other person, they look around what is going on here? Stars is newish and stayed home today. What's everyone else doing?
I would like to clamber up onto the cart and jump up. Whoever has Bosco scruffed, kind of jump up, take out my camera, and flash bomb them with the flash from the camera. So that, again, we're blinding someone to try and get them to drop Bosco.
All right, so I will say that also can count as jump fighting as you are attempting to disorientate this very large, scaly lizard who is holding your friend by the scruff. It's Bosco, you're just a little intimidated when you realize there's a large lizard staring at you.
Yeah, this is feeling very gator-like for Bosco's liking, and not a fan.
What skill should I roll?
I'll say clever.
So I rolled relatively high on the dice. That's an 18. I rolled a 5, a 6, a 3, plus 2 to clever, plus 2 for jump fighting.
How is that even possible? I mean, it is, but how?
I rolled the extra d6.
I know, but still.
Otherwise, it would have been a 13, but still.
So, you do this at just the right height, just the right angle, that this Matakai is not only disoriented to dropping Bosco, he's full on stunned, unable to move. As Bosco, you get dropped right onto the controls in such a way that you managed to unlock it. And you're like, okay, I think I can figure this out. I picture it's kind of like joystick controls, and like you've got a foot on each control, and you're like, okay, I think I can do.
First and most importantly, I press the button that opens up the popcorn drawer, or the popcorn kettle, so that we can all
That is
get
the
some
most
breakfast
important
going
thing.
on. And then once everybody's on board, punch it.
I'm not going to make people roll. You're all able to get on board and get the cart going as panic is starting to spread. You start hearing people come in, and there's like a zookeeper starts like running up to the front. It's actually the person that came to feed you is running up to the front. No, don't let people in yet. Don't let people in yet. The lemurs are loose. It's not just the lemurs. They let out the bears. And they let out the flamingos too. What is going on? There's just panic starting to spread, and people are starting to come on and panic as well. Hey, Bosco, since you're driving,
Uh-huh.
can you roll clever to navigate the crowd?
I can.
Whether or not it'll go well is a different story.
100%. That's going to be a 7.
You do attract attention, but you're able to dodge around people.
Mm-hmm.
But also, pretty much the entire crowd very quickly becomes aware. Are those lemurs stealing the kettle cart?
Yeah, we're lemurs on a kettle cart. There's really only so much we can do to remain stealthy at this point.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so you've got a couple of people that look like they're going to try and stop you.
Got a couple people that look like they're going to mess up.
Missy's going to clamber up to the very top of the cart and look around for the bears. Are the bears within eye shot currently?
I'll say they are, because they were sent specifically in this direction.
Hey, guys! You gonna let them do this to us? Come on! Where's the Brotherhood? Bears! Get these fools!
You can have some kettle corn when you're done.
For Missy, roll with scary, because you're trying to posture like, you gonna let them mess around with us like this? You want them to like back up to you. Bosco will allow you to roll cute, because you're trying to be persuasive.
Excellent.
Oh no, I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 9.
Alright. Atop a yawing kettle corn cart, Missy is just barely hanging on, so she's perhaps not as authoritative as she wants to be in this moment.
Amazing.
The bears don't even look your direction, but when they hear kettle corn, there's one of them. I'll say it's like a smaller one, like a baby bear almost, that you didn't even notice. It's just like, that sounds good. And just trots over. He's like, what do you need me to do? Looking up at Bosco.
Bosco just points at the handful of zookeepers that have noticed us. Get them.
Okay. This tiny little bear just charges off in the direction of the zookeepers, and the 2 mama bears just turn like, what is our cub doing? So they start going after it. It does kind of scatter people away, but it doesn't get everyone away, but it does thin out the crowd of people that were trying to stop the cart. You still have a couple of random visitors who are like, this is bad, we should intervene and help.
I know there's been like some signs, like signposts. Are there any like banners hanging anywhere?
Yeah, there's probably different banners and like signs hanging down.
I'd like to find like a banner or like some sort of fabric or vinyl style sign, or something that is, you know, has some movement to it, and see if I can jump up and tear it down so that it like lands on top of someone and they can't get out.
Okay. Roll jump fighting clever. Because you have to aim it just right.
Yes. 9.
You like grab onto this banner. It's either celebrating an anniversary or just like reminding people about the importance of like conservation and don't litter. And you just drop it right on top of someone who was about to grab the cart. So they didn't grab the cart. You were also currently being left behind, though, as the cart is continuing to move.
Yep. All right. I will try to run after the cart. I'll just go into like full running, all fours, sprinting towards the cart. Actually, no, I want to parkour to the cart. I want to be jumping off of either people or trash cans or benches or whatever else is in the way. I want to parkour to the cart.
I'll say this time jump fighting with strong, because if you're having to keep up a lot of movement and hit with just enough power to get where you want to go.
That one's a 10. Full success.
Yeah.
So you basically parkour off of a couple of different structures and a couple of different people who are also trying to go after the cart and land on it just as it exits into the docking bay, and you see there's a couple of ships around. Some of them are really big, others are smaller, some are shiny, others are a little dirty. What are you going for?
Options.
Shiny.
We each get one.
I think we should stick together.
Okay.
Probably opt for one of the smaller ones so that we actually can, like, physically drive it. Because I imagine the larger ones have, like, a more of a Starfleet kind of, like, panel of, like, multiple panel situations. We need to make sure that we can actually drive whatever it is we end up taking. So what are we looking at?
I mean, I think it's obvious. The shiniest one is the best one. The shiniest thing is always the best thing.
You
Is
raise
there
a
a small
valid
shiny?
point.
There is a small shiny.
Yes.
That one.
To the small shiny!
Okay.
They're going to be chasing us.
As we get near the small shiny, I essentially cause the cart to, like, wipe out, and so that everything spills everywhere and there's a mess. And then we leap over to the small shiny.
Can I get a clever roll from our himbo who's doing clever things?
Absolutely. Gonna be a 6.
You make a mess, all right. You slam into the ship.
Good.
Oh, no.
And now the kettle corn cart is partially embedded.
Oh no!
I fail to see how this is a problem.
We don't know any better.
That Capricorn card has
Gamers
some
don't know about
juice.
structural integrity.
So are we going to continue trying to steal this one that now has some kettle corn embedded into it?
Bosco fails to see a problem.
I'm gonna roll to see if I see one. Holy moly! With a plus clever, I've got an 11.
Ooh.
Doesn't seem like it's an issue. I'm picking up the kernels for road snacks.
So as you're picking up the kernels, you think about, like, you have listened to, like, different talks about space travel and all the dangerous things you can run into, and you have the thought, if this thing was damaged by a kettle corn cart, maybe you don't want to be flying it out where there's, like, asteroids, pieces of space junk, other ships. It might not be that sturdy. Maybe you need one that's a little sturdier.
Bosco, bad ship. Bad ship. This one got damaged by a popcorn cart. That means anything could hurt it. We need to find a better ship.
We gotta do it fast.
How about that one?
Yeah, there's another small one that's not quite as shiny, but maybe it's a little bit more colorful.
Quasar,
Maybe there's
kick it.
someone inside.
I will kick the small colorful ship.
Yay.
Oh, like kicking the tires of a car to see if it's any good.
Yes.
You put your foot through the hole.
Yeah, it's like, if a
Yeah.
lemur can
Is this one a
damage
little
it by
bit-
kicking it, then maybe we don't take that one either.
Then it's a bad ship.
Is this one any better structurally than the other one? And I just kind of like kick at the hull of this one a little bit.
Give me a roll with strong.
Yeah, for sure. 9.
You give it a good kick. Your foot hurts now. The
Ah!
ship is fine. You are now limping slightly.
Quasar is like hopping around, holding his hurt foot, going, "It's good, it's good, it's good. Get on, let's go, let's go."
Good enough for me.
Although on her way off of the popcorn cart, Missy is going to use the second hat that she has picked up to scoop up a giant scoop of kettle corn and scatter it all over the floor as she heads for the other ship to help fulfill the promise to the small bear.
Yeah, as you are getting onto this other ship, you just hear the little bear, "That kettle corn!" Like at distance as it's running towards you with its parents following behind and just a whole slew of very concerned zookeepers.
All right, step on it.
Step on what?
Who all is going to be attempting to fly the ship?
Oh, Bosco's on this.
Have a try.
I'm guessing everyone
I
is
think it's
going
gonna
to
be all
do
of
some
us.
sort of attempt.
Yeah, I think
All
this
right.
is a group effort.
Lots of
I
levers.
think Bosco's our main pilot, but everyone else is like, pressing buttons, switching levers, throwing things.
Everyone roll plus clever.
Bosco is going to activate the his wallet. He's going to take a card out, and it's like, all right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Yeah! And he's going to shove a card into what appears to be like a random slot on the deck. Ideally, what would actually happen is that the card will make a short that will make it easier for a lemur to fly this.
Amazing.
Yeah, give me a roll, and you can add a d6 for using your wallet.
13.
Woo!
13. So, it certainly does something as you insert this card into the slot, and then you hear a voice saying, "Autopilot activated. Proceeding to destination."
I don't speak human, so this is fine. We are flying a spaceship.
Yeah. I'm going to push the windshield wiper button over and over, and I think I'm doing a great job.
Why are there windshield wipers on a spaceship? Who knows?
I rolled a 7.
13 as well.
5.
Missy, you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of shiny things. I think you have a little bit of like the decision paralysis moment.
Missy is standing in the middle of the floor, clutching the hat with both front paws, eyes the size of strawberries.
This is the coolest thing you've ever seen, also you don't know what's going on. And you might be a little afraid of flying, maybe? You don't know. You don't know what's going on. I'll say, Lehman, you figure out how to do, like, adjust the brightness on things and, like, climate controls, but Quasar, as you're looking around, you're like, oh, like, this is where we go to get the food, and this is how you do the communication stuff, and then if we need to fly, this is how we do the flying things and telling it where to go. Whoever designed this ship had a very similar thought process to yours.
Very good. Designed by lemurs. Good to see.
Mm-hmm.
I will just be Bosco's stalwart co-pilot.
As you fly off into the stars in this ship that you stole, off to whatever adventures may await you.
Prison break.
Wherever the autopilot takes us.
That's an excellent question, is where's the autopilot taking you? Mayhem!
Yes.
God,
Wherever it
that's
is, it's chaos.
Yay. It's about to be.
absolutely chaos.
You can't take the sky from me.
Mm. I don't care. I'm still Leem.
1 billion years in the future, Earth still exists, though maybe not as we imagine it. Eras upon bygone eras worth of technology have been left behind by 8 previous and fallen civilizations. It is now up to the denizens of the 9th world to piece together what they've left behind. Join us as we explore this world in Imprinted Echoes, a family-friendly Numenera actual play podcast. Nehemiah, a protective glaive who speaks with a silver tongue, Smallrin, a serene jack who wields power with precision, and Jory, a curious delve who exists partially out of phase. After independently making their way to a small village past the edges of society, these 3 form an unlikely but ever-strengthening bond. A bond that leads them to exploration all over the 9th world and farther. We hope that you'll listen along as we bring you theatrically presented episodes of their adventures in Imprinted Echoes, a Ghostlight Media production available at imprintedechoes.com or on your podcatcher of choice.